Welcome back, everyone. It's been some time, about 2 months since our last video. But we have some good news. We have some really great news. Daniel placed 11th at the most recent LA regional that happened on January 3rd, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. So we're gonna go over his quick deck profile. We did Crystron K9 for this event. Daniel's gonna talk about his wins, his losses, his tech choices, and then overall his experience for this event. Long time coming. He's so close to his top eight dream and goal, just 3 places away. And then you know what? I think I'm done talking. Also, for those who are watching the video, over under on how many times Dueling Book crashes today for us. As some of you may know, I am in the Philippines now, and Daniel's in California. So connection might be a little weird. Getting Dueling Book operational is going to be a little bit weird, but we're here, we're live, and we're gonna get right into it. Daniel, take it away.
Hi everybody. So for those of you who have been paying attention to like what I've been playing after YCS Anaheim, I was playing K9 Vanquisol, but they hit Mjolnir, so you have to play the next best thing, which is Crystron. But after you've seen, posted his video about like spell cancer and stuff like that, I think this is like low key the best deck, just due to like the amount of auto wins you can have. If your cards resolve. So kind of into the Canine land for the first two rows of monsters. There's 3 Joko, 3 Zuna, 3 Naroi, 3 Lantern, 3 Chaotic Elements, 3 Case of Canine, a Lupus, and a Force Released. And kind of how my Anaheim deck went, I kind of just wanted to play a max Canine engine just so that I have always a chance to play, especially since Joko's like the best card. So you want as many ways to resolve Joko. So and then because of that, that meant that I played 3 Lantern. So I know a lot of people might think this is sus because I'm playing this more of a pure Canine deck, but the thing is that everyone's still hand trapping you, so you need like just extra level fives that just do stuff, right? And that one just searches like Case of Canine, which probably gonna search Azuna or something like that, or like Noroi sometimes. So therefore, like, it's very very good. The other thing I want to mention too is that K9's weakness right now, I think, is people playing into with like less cards in their hand, and that's like the especially with the gimmick of K9 needing at least 2 cards for you to normal summon. So having cards to like top deck when you're grinding, or when your cards are getting blown up, is like super important for like to have your pushes can go through. Um, and then the second engine is Crystron. So I decided to play this engine over Vanquisol moving forward, just because these cards are insane. Like actually, Cluster is like Virtual Role Chuche in a nutshell, which is I think really good. Solfador is like foolish too. And then like Scrap Recycler, if anyone's played Orcus, that card is not once per turn, so you might as well just play that card. And it now, like, you get the dump spell canceler, which that card's Imperial Order. So for anyone who kind of understands the logic of this deck is actually the Lunalight Orcus deck back in 2019. If the analogy is my analogy is correct, the Kanan cards are the Lunalight cards, and the um, Crystron cards are the Orcus cards, right? So you have multiple ways of extension and getting to the same win condition, which is Imperial Order or Spell Canceler, right? If your combo resolves, especially when you have negates up, you're probably auto winning. So, especially with Mitsurugi running around in the format, you need something like this to give yourself an edge. No matter how many times you do full combo or not. Another non-engine, right? So I think the first 12 cards in your non-engine have been like really staple since Anaheim. So Fua, Droll, Ash Blossom, and Bell. Droll and Lockbird is probably the most important non-engine in the format. Like Mitsurugi is everywhere, Vanquisol is everywhere. Like it's so even just combo decks in general. Like without this card, you just cannot stop that deck. And then Fualos is like the second best thing because it gives everyone like pressure. It gives you draws, but everyone still gets to play, so like it's kind of sus. So Ash Blossom's there to catch their Fuas, if anything, and then Ash and Bell are there for Draco Tail specifically. It's also there for Pyramitsu as well, just because it hits like pre-prep and stuff like that. But it's just honestly these are the best 12. Now for the last card, I kind of took inspiration from my Anaheim deck, but more importantly from the Oceanic WCQ this year, sales ban for game one. A lot of people who understand combo decks, they realize that Duong Lockbird is probably the most powerful card into these combo decks. Like you just stop everyone's turn, and these combo decks don't have a lot of like, um, what's the word, defense, unless it's like hand traps to like give yourself another turn. So Salesman lets you call Duong Lockbird, and 80-90% of the time, if they have it, your plays are now going through because any other hand trap like Ash Bell, which is probably played in the format, then Imperm or Veiler are the next best ones. They become like very not weak, but like you have to time them properly to stop this deck. And if you play them too early, then the rest. If I'm playing like a higher K9 count, I'm going to push these hand traps and full combo you anyway. So this card was crazy. Also, this has a secondary application going second. So a lot of these like Lunalight decks, they all play like Liger Dancer, which is like a towers type monster. So if you just call Liger Dancer, they can never Regeki you. And I play it now in my extra deck as we'll see. But it makes it so that you have a chance against us these powerful decks, right? Against Yummy, which is like it's pure Yummy specifically, like one of your worst matchups, you get to call Snatchy, and now like even if they have like the full board, like they can pretty much like they can never like put up Cooksy to book your monsters, which is like really important there. You can call Fimena, you can call like a lot of different things, but more importantly, is a non-engine card you can draw Fua or as your six, and you can dissect boards, which I think is something that a lot of people forget in these type of formats. Um, I guess I can go to my extra deck because that's kind of important. There's two Ripper. This is just so that you can grind. And it's just the cards is crazy. Like cards is anti hand traps. It's nuts. Werewolf is helps you like your win condition. Helps your Lupus like be like super powerful, and the card is just nuts. Like it's crafting a little Omega sometimes, which is I've done like a couple of turns. And then Hound. I think this is like one of the few cards a lot of people aren't playing in their deck, and I don't think that's wrong. Because people play like tiers, but I think two times in the tournament, like his cards come up and it's won me like the game, like it's so good, or even the match. Just because being able to like standby phase banish something on their turn when your turn comes back is really strong. Against one of my pure yummy opponents, he full comboed, and I just Azuned him because he activated Marshmallow, and I made this. I didn't activate its effective banish, and I just battle phase attacked his Herald, main phase 2 made Zeus, and it was like so good. And then the rest of these cards are like you need River Stormer for like to search Scrap Recycler, Exoskeletus to make to add back your trap card, uh, the Clockwork Knight to link one, the Platinum Gadget to summon your Scrap Recycler from your hand. Um, the next card here is Barricade Board Blocker. It was originally there because I was on trading rules with this deck. So anytime you drew Spell Cancel, it kind of like felt booty. So you can just discard it and like add back Case of K9, which I think is really cool. And it's a generic machine because in case you get machine locked, it was cool to make because I did mess up once my combo to like I had too many monsters, so this let me link off my Kunkiri to like have room to make infinity, so I can beat the mirror match that I played. Um, Armalier or I'm a liar. That card is the reason why I have to play the Crystron deck now. It essentially makes it so that the missing extender that you need to to make Konkiri is now playable. So essentially, you banish my search inclusion and your inclusion search is Sulfador, and it uses the Armalier to target your canine monster to summon your Sulfador that's negated to make your Konkiri to summon spell cancel from your graveyard. So this is like an important combo piece. Um, Konkiri, please ban this card. Like, if not, like you ban River Stormer. That like you should not be able to give monsters if not put your own monsters on your field. Like it's just nuts. Nova Infinity because that's your Omni, and then my tech card kind of like my 14 to 15 slot, which is Arc Rebellion Dragon. So this is essentially just for Lunalight, like, or the other case is like when your opponent puts up too many monsters on your field on their field, and you need to like clear them all and win the game. This is your cheat code to like kind of like Blackwing Sirocco the Dawn. It gains all the attack, and you can only attack with this card. So like is very very good. And that Zeus, like that card was MVP, like just clearing fields for free. My side deck, um, so now there's three prohibition. Um, so what's interesting about this card is just does what salesman does, except it's the original salesman. But it's continuous, right? So this card you can call like Yummy Snatchy when you go first versus Yummy when they hand ship you a bajillion times, and you're probably like safe because you're putting up enough disruptions so they can never SP Little Knight. This card, so that's very good. I usually call 5 mana sometimes against Draco Tail because like if they have to chain their 5 mana to pop this, that meant they use the 5 mana for the turn, which means they can never like fool you, which is like really crazy. There's Humor Lupus in my uh extra in my side deck. I thought I was originally playing this as a joke because like there was nothing else I could play. But then I sided this round one versus Draco Tail, and the third one came up and won me the game. So like this card's nice. But I think over the course of the tournament, I decided to decide this a lot more going first because like this is just more copies of Azuna. So if they hand trap you, which they now understand your strategy, you just need extenders. They especially with this like natural like monster extenders that you can just play in your engine. So this one was like very very good to do. Then we played this what is it Siphon Driver, Siphon Delta. Um, so Delta was like crazy for like throughout testing and especially through the tournament because against like Mitsurugi and Draco Tail, you just need as many stops to their fusion spells or like ritual spells, or even starter cards for that matter. This card just lets you do that. And then this was also like a cheat code in the sense that like if they had Ash Blossom for this because they need or Bell when they needed this card to go through, you could probably like you know they won't remember that this is not once per turn, so like you can probably get away with it. But oh, there's Dueling Book number one. Um,
Yeah, give me give me 1 second. Let's see if Dueling Book wants to reopen. Okay, we're in the main
great, great,
menu,
great.
and then let me pull this up. Don't look at my Gemnet list. Anyways, we're back.
Um, okay, so and then the next card here, next two cards were Lightning Storm and Dark Ruler, right? Um, Funny enough, Lightning Storm, I think I cited it maybe once, never seen it. It like in theory it was there for like the rogue decks everyone's playing because everyone's playing like floodgates and like a lot of back row to beat the Canine deck. So I just wanted like a countermeasure to like in case that happened. Dark Ruler was great. Round two I played versus Blue Eyes. I let him combo, which was like kind of cool. And I debated him for his Drill Beam. I Dark Rulered him, and that was drafts. And then my Yummy opponent, same thing. Like, yeah, this was nice. But it's mainly just there for like again plug game monsters that people do post side, or like just Yummy Mitsu specifically because like they can't prayers under this card to Reborn, so like it makes their Mitsurugi engine way worse. But that is the main deck, or this is the deck in general.
Over your
Any
wins and
questions?
losses, what was your record? How many people entered this regional? And then,
Sure,
what's something you could take away for the next event?
sure. So there was 386 players at 9 rounds of Swiss. I guess we can go over my rounds now. Round one was Draco Tail. This guy was from Idaho because he's traveling for he's practicing for the 300. Um, Funny enough, we go to game three. This is the game where I get to play my third Lupus because I think I went first. Yeah, or I went. Yeah, I went first. Yeah, like we end up grinding a bit. Eventually, what ends up happening is like he summons filler. He reboots his filler Regis. And that triggers like um stuff, which makes me like have to Zeus him at some point. And eventually, I just win this grind game because of cluster, because I end up with cluster infinity. So that was like kind of crazy. Round two, I play like one of your homeboys from Lancaster. He's playing Blue Eyes Primite. Game one, I go first. I go Joko Lantern. He imperm purges Valor's me, right? So I'm just kind of like, man, this sucks. So I look at his hand off of the Roy, and it's like uh Blue Eyes White Dragon and Lordy Load. So I just set the Quick Bite spell and he's passed. He draws Blue Eyes Jet Dragon for turn, so I just win. Game 2, again, so I let him make him everything. This is like one of the he puts up like double Spirit Dragon to like put up the Stardust Majestic Dragon and what is his name? The damn, I'm blanking. The the Ultimate Dragon, whatever it's called, right? Yeah. And then he has Drill Beam set. So like I debate his Drill Beam with Crystron cards, with specifically Skeletus, then a Dark Ruler, and then I go Joko Lantern, and I just proceed to like quick play spell, make Werewolf pop his True Light. He summons back the Majesty Dragon off the Ultimate Dragon effect. But then activate Case of K9 because it's a spell, not a monster, so the Majesty Dragon doesn't trigger. So I search a thing. But then because he activated a Grave effect, my Werewolf's at 43 to like knock it out. And then Zeus is bored. But he top decks Lordy Load. So he puts up 2 Drill Beams, right? And Blue Eyes White Dragon. But the thing is that his Blue Eyes attacks my Ripper, which then triggers my Zeus to put a second thing under my like a Lupus under my Zeus, so I can like Zeus is board right after again. So that was like a 2-0. Round 3 was Runic. I win the roll. So like because it's Runic, I look at the bajillion spells, I spell cancel him. So game 2, he goes like I draw him or whatever. Or no, I delta his first Runic Fountain, right? I draw him after. And then it's weird because he sets up tirades on my turn because so then that resolves. So we're siding for game 3 and we get deck checked, right? I think this is usually suspicious because most of the time these deck checks happen right before your match starts, right? Because it's at random. But because they did it game 3 and we're both playing like suspicious decks like auto wins and stuff, they probably would do this because and our records are 2-0. And luckily for both of us, we were both clean. So so I get to play game 3 out with post side. I look at his hand. It's 3 spells plus evenly matched. So I did the full board, and he draws. He doesn't draw like Pancratops even a second evenly or whatever to play. So I win. Round 4, I play our boy Chancho. He's on Fire King, Dirac. He wins the roll. So this is my first loss of the dice roll today. The thing here is that he summons the Dirac guy, and then activates Fall in the Virtuous. Fun fact, that's a very fantastic combo because that meant he gets to play. So even if he doesn't have a lot to work with, he gets the grind. And I eventually lose this grind because he eventually has 0 cards at some point for my K9 cards to not resolve. So that makes sense. Game 2, I open Salesman Prohibition, Solfafnir, Solfador, Lantern. So my hand doesn't look that great on paper, but because I have Salesman and Prohibition, I Salesman call Droll, and then because my hand's weak, I Prohibition call Ash Blossom. Now, the kicker here is that he waltzes me twice. Therefore, my K9 cards, when I search them, are now live. So like cards like Azuna and Lupus are just free extenders. For now, even if I open a bad, I still spell Cancer, Infinity, Cluster, everything, right? This man just opens double evenly like a boss. So I die. Like I get 2-0'd. Round 5 is Pyramitsu. Again, I lose the roll here. Because it's Mitsurugi, it's like I don't open enough, or don't open well enough to beat like a bunch of back row plus Murakumo and like IP. So I go to game 2. This is where like this is my PSA to everybody. So he opens up Perulian, plays it. I Ash Blossom it. Then I go Noroi effect, and Heath Wallace is there, right? I'm like, cool, this is fine. The thing is that this is the second chummy of the game, so he can't play anymore. But because we're both tired, it's round 5, and my opponent's not super malicious about this. He's just like trying to play as best he can. He plays a second Perulia, which I don't catch until a little later, after him hand trapping me. Because these game states are irreversible. Um, I decide not to snitch on this and be like, hey, don't. And I told him, hey, don't do the rest of the tournament, please. This is gets me out for top 8 technically, like very long, and that's number 2. Um, so to anyone who's playing Molcharmies in their deck, especially multiples of them, please keep track on like what you can and cannot resolve. Um, and then eventually I get drooled somewhere in the midst of the combo because he just drew it, so I can't spell cancel him. Rounds. So I'm at X2 now after round 5. I'm like, man, I lost my chance to top 8, but luckily how Yu-Gi-Oh works now is X2 is the topping record. So I had to pray to the gods like later down the tournament. Round 6 is Memento. I win the roll again. Because he's playing Memento, I already know by like default that deck's usually like a chummy deck with breakers. So I can take the gamble even if he double fuas me, which he does here. So I full combo him. He's on 22 cards before like putting stuff back. He has to shuffle 11 back. So he draws for turn. He starts playing with me, and the nice thing about his I get to resolve. I got to werewolf him way earlier on my turn. So what's cool now is that when he activates Anguish, he I look at his hand. He has the fish. So I banish it, and then my 2 interactions beat his 2 extenders, which is Sleepy and Tatsu no Shigo. So I win. Game 2, he knows Normal Summon Darkblade. I Ash Blossom it, and he passes. So this is a game that my turn goes. He Ash Bells me, so like my hands doesn't seem that great. So I have to like put up a Ripper Riverstormer. So my Riverstormer attacks his Darkblade, attaches it, so I can put a 4 Material Zeus on it. And then he goes activate Memento Field Spell, Normal Summon a Goblin, and I Zeus his board, and he passes, so I kill him. Round 7, I play the Mirror, and I win game, and I win the roll again. His hand is 5 monsters when I look at Noroi, so like, because of that, he scoops. Game 2 is like not super great for me because like I like Brick when he gets the combo. In game 3, I think he drolls me. That's what it was. And he activates Azuna. So this is where I make Ripper plus Hound. Because like I Ashes Azuna, so he only has that on board, and his hand is like Jokel, Lantern, purple Crystron guy. And I make it so that like since I banish his Azuna of Hound, the rest of his interruptions don't help to win the game, so I win. Round 8's pure yummy. I play like a friend's friend from like Arizona. So he goes first. He triggers Marshmallow here. So like I get to resolve Azuna and make Hound, which is super important here. Which means that now when it's my turn, I don't activate Hand on standby, so I don't trigger Herald. And I go end the main battle to attack his I attack his Herald so I can Zeus him, and he just scoops. Game 2, he like quote unquote bricks, but because he ends on 1 card in his hand, my cannon cards are not live, so I scoop. Game 3, I think I just spell cancel him. I think that's what it was. So he just dies. Round 9. Okay, so this is where this is the bubble for my invite technically, but bubble for top 8. So Yummy Mitsu, I lose the roll. I'm like, man, I'm just not getting lucky today. This man normal summons Ash Blossom and sends Forbidden Droplet and passed. I'm like, how did this guy brick? So I play with him. So I have like Noroi Ash Bell in my hand. So I win this game because like no matter how bad he grinds, I eventually like in my opening hand I open spell cancel too. So I know it's Mitsu. So I can just slap on that and there's no other monster in this deck can like swing over it. Congrats. Um Game two, oh he activates pre-prep, I draw him. So his only line of play to keep himself alive was make Dynamondo with the Murakumo engrave. And I have enough gas to kill him. And that match ended in like 15 minutes. And by that point, also to the reason why I got 11th place because Chancho made 7th, right? But my opponents from round 1 and 5 who sat right next to me both died. So therefore, they drag my record down just a tiny bit. So therefore, I get 11th.
Hi, Daniel. Quick questions about your deck profile and your
Sure.
overall event experience. Isn't Prohibition and Salesman a little redundant? Like, is there ever a point where you have 6 copies of the same card in your list?
No. Okay. So the other thing I want to mention is you can call separate cards, which is the nice thing, right? So if you draw both of them, you get to call 2 different cards, right? So I know like you might be asking, what are you calling? I'm calling Droll, right? But in I think the game I played versus Chancho, my hand was super weak. So I had to call a second hand trap, right? Which is Ash Blossom. Which is like the most common thing. So I think that's okay. Um the other thing I want to mention too is that it was actually math. So let's just say your opponent's playing 40 cards and they have Dual Leopard in their deck, right? In their opening 5. The math to get to see one of those rolls is about 30%, right? Now, I'm playing slightly a bigger deck. So I need to up my chances to kind of match that draw probability if they draw it, especially when I go first. So I played, there's 6 copies of anti-draw cards, right? Or Impulse, which is probably like the same. And essentially, the math is in opening 5 and 45 cards, there's 6 copies, it's about 40%. Now, because there's a 10% difference, I should like theoretically draw these cards more often, even if they don't have draw, just to secure the fact that like I will win the game. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, yeah. And then my other question was, you said at the beginning of our call today that you wanted to play a maximum K9 package, but like there's still 2 Lupuses in your side. Would main decking the other 2 change the list in any way? And let's say hypothetically someone watches this video and they feel differently. How would you approach an updated version of this list where you're just main decking the triple Lupus instead of siding it?
Okay, so a lot of people in like the like before this regional, right, at YCS and stuff, they were playing 2 Lupus in their deck, especially like Banker Soul and stuff like that. I don't think that's necessarily wrong. But I think it was just because at this moment in time, Lupus didn't like what's the word? It didn't do anything like quote unquote by itself. It was just really good going first, having extenders, right? Um, it's going second. It's not the worst, but the other thing I want to mention too, um, there's no Typhon in my deck, right? So like that in a perfect world when Typhon is supposed to be good, especially versus Yamimitsu, I would want multiple Lupus just so that like against Yamimitsu, if I play against the deck more often, I have a chance to like Zeus the board. But because I took it out because the card just like was not great in my testing, Lupuses was the multiple Lupuses was my side deck. Just to ensure that when I went first, there's a bunch of extenders. When I know I'm getting handshopped because they see my strategy. Um,
Sweet. I mean, those were my only questions, just like overall event experience. Just the 2 questions on the side, and then you just mentioned Typhon, so I will pry. Is there anything in your
yeah.
extra deck you would cut for the Typhon right now?
So there's like maybe one thing that's very Cobra blocker. Like I said, that card was training wheels, but I'm glad I played it because against my Crystron opponent, I messed up my combo midway. So like because I didn't have enough rooms to make infinity off my Asolfador. So I'm glad I played it because if I didn't do that, I probably would have lost in the mirror. Um, but like it's always good follow up. I think if you had to cut it, yeah, you could probably cut it for Typhon. Another thing that came up because like not that I don't think I messed up in my games, but like just in case I've played mirror matches or just I couldn't get the spell cancer, I would have played Chandraxter again, just because in those games when you don't have access to the lock, you just need to have two negates up, and save having Don Dragster as your spell and trap negate ensures that your Infinity gets to do for a monster effect. If that makes any sense. Um,
Oh,
but yeah, you could play Typhon.
all right. Well, I think that wraps it up. Unless you have any final closing thoughts, what's your next event? What do you plan to play? Looking forward to a ban list, perhaps, maybe?
I would so I'll quote myself from like my Anaheim deck profile. This format pretty much sucks. Like in the sense that like okay, if you need to have like Joel and Fu in your hand like almost every game just to give yourself a chance for Yamimitsu and like or just the other decks. Um and yeah, this deck reminds me a lot of like Ramiro's deck from 2019. Like it people should have played this more often at this regional, but I don't think people have optimized it to the point where I have it here to like see the realization like oh if the only card we need to stop is like Joel and Impulse, Sales Ban and Prohibition kind of like do that for you very well. Um, and also I want to mention shout out Patrick Hoban. That guy did not reveal his list at all online. And the only reason why I got a peek at his list was because he played a case tournament in Atlanta, and I caught that video like about 2 or 3 days before this tournament.
Shout out to Mr.
So
Hoban.
shout out Hoban. And then I didn't even anything else here. Oh, shout out to James Markowitz and Isaiah, who are world's competitors. I was talking to them for like the past like during the weekend. Like it was great. I shout out to James because he also went second with Vanquish Soul. That guy's good. Shout out to both Joncho and Diego, our East Lancaster guys, because they made top 8 for the first time. Well deserved. Um, and yeah, I mean, this deck was great. I recommend anyone